Welcome out to this episode of Escape Pod. I'm your host, David Anthony, along with Tony Brown.
Drinking Tony.
Tony, we got a guest tonight. Who we got with us?
David Haynes.
Hey, guys.
All right. Hey, buddy. Let me get our intro music down a little bit here.
It's been a couple weeks since I got that kind of welcome.
The coolest arcade escape room, axe throwing, mini golf, midget wrestling. Oh, do you have midget wrestling yet?
Don't ruin that. That's coming Q3.
Dang, Tony, ruined the surprise. Oh, goodness. David, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
During this kind of lockdown situation that's slowly starting to come back around, we knew that you were a business that would be perfect to have on the show because a lot of people need the entertainment. They need to get out. They've been cooped up in their houses for far too long. And a lot of people just, they want to know maybe, when and what kind of plans or that you're going to have and what all you do offer and what you're going to be offering in the future. And, and what kind of precautions and stuff like that you're going to be able to take. And when people can start coming in and partaking of all the fun that they're going to have at your establishment.
Sure. Yeah. So the funny thing about this coronavirus is it's kind of like Owensboro went through this about 4 years ago already with the entertainment side of things. We started in 2016. There wasn't anything to do. We had a laser tag place, I believe. We had a movie theater. We had some bowling alleys. That was about it. Yep. And now we've got all this really cool stuff going on. We've got us. I won't toot our own horn too much. We've got a trampoline park. I mean, we're really coming up in the world. So it kind of feels like 2016, Yeah. But we're just elated to still be around. We're very fortunate that we were able to weather this storm, and we're looking forward to being back with new escape rooms. We got 3 of those right now. That's kind of how we began this journey. We began with a simple folk making escape rooms. We then were kind of gluttons for punishment. We decided to get back into the arcade industry about 40 years too late. We didn't even dip our toes into that. We bought 42 machines in less than a month. Didn't know what the heck we were doing with them. We fixed them up and got about 12 of them running. No, I'm just kidding. We got about all of them running. But we've been very fortunate that sector hasn't made us any money, but it's brought in a lot of customers. Everybody's gotten that nostalgia factor back about being a kid again. It's not something that you come in and you do an escape room and it doesn't cost any money. So it was a really fun way to give back to the community. And then we added on to that and we did some axe throwing. And that's a really cool thing. We really think that is kind of poised to be up there with bowling in a few years. Very team-based. Obviously, you can, do all sorts of stuff in our building, but that's the one that's a little more competitive than the others. Usually you're on a team, and this one you're kind of competitive. And then we lastly added our rage room, which is a pretty neat concept. We've been trying to figure out how to do that for ages, and our insurance company just looked at us like we were morons. So we switched insurance companies. They still think we're morons, but for some reason they insure us. And we, you basically get to go in and just smash a bunch of stuff up with no consequences. So that's what we have on the escape room side now. And we're really excited to be bringing Owensboro's first brewery to town where, beer is actually produced in over 100 years. That's pretty fun.
Incredible.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys brewing beer right now for test?
We are brewing test batches. Unfortunately, we can't release those to the public for not exactly sanitation issues, more like legality issues. Once you brew for public consumption, you're actually taxed at the tap. So before that is even sold or out the door or anything, once it goes into that keg, it is taxed and you send that check to Uncle Sam. So we are being very careful about when we actually, pull the trigger on that. But it's any week now.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's great. I know Tony wants to be official taste tester.
Yeah. We're gonna make a tequila infused beer just for him. See if he can polish off the whole thing.
I will try or die trying.
27 ounces, is that right, Tony? 27 ounces.
No, that's super exciting that you guys are opening the first brewery in like so long.
Yeah, and we've been really trying to get this going for just as long as we've been doing the escape rooms. And honestly, I would say before 2019, legally, the city wasn't on board. Politically, a lot of organizations weren't really on board. A lot of people don't understand what a brewery is, that sort of thing. But we finally figured it out. We found the perfect spot for said brewery, just enough space, not too much space. And that's the funny thing in Owensboro. You got to walk that tightrope. If you get too big of a building, you got to completely knock it down and start over, basically. If you get too little, it's, you can't make any money. You got to get it right in the middle there.
Right.
Yeah,
so where's your location at?
We have actually, we're going to call it an entertainment complex at this point because we have multiple buildings. We're at 800 through 824 West 2nd Street. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
One of the last times we talked, you kind of threw us a swerve because you were talking about moving into the old Browning furniture building there on Frederica.
Yes, we had.
Next thing I know, you're like, well, screw that. We're just going to build a whole Disney World level thing for us.
Yeah. Well, we would have loved that old Browning's furniture building. It's got that nice Bavarian style outside. It literally it looks like a brewery. I mean, you can't do it any better than that. But unfortunately, things with planning and zoning kind of didn't work out. We did actually purchase that building. We owned that building for about 24 hours. Luckily we were very, very wise about, some stipulations in the contract and that sort of thing. So we got out of that and we found a situation that everybody in the city liked. And that's where we are now.
Yeah, that's a way better location. I mean, with the way that they're trying to build downtown and everything, and then you guys are right there at the end, and then with them doing the whole remodel of all that area, I think way down the Maple, the city's wanting to redo and refurb, so that's going to be perfect, man. Right there,
you're going to be right in the heart of it.
So we just start coming back to town.
Yep, we just count the cars as they go by, and everybody looks at our building, which is great.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah,
that is. And then, so you're going to have escape rooms, the brewery. I mean, that's going to be insane. I mean, which is and you named it after a local landmark, which is super cool too. So.
The Brew Bridge. I like that.
The Brew Bridge. You got to say it 3 times so it's got that marketing vibe too,
Yeah. And I like the logo, which we haven't had in the place card. That it's there's definitely the bridge look to it, but in your logo, I think it's very smart, great design. I mean, you guys are hitting on all cylinders. I have to tell you, it's quite impressive, and not only that, but I mean, all the different things that you're working on, to entertain people. I mean, like the arcade thing is to me, that's a super awesome bonus. I mean, you have arcade machines and
we have 60. Well, we own about 95 machines now. We unfortunately don't have enough space for all of them. I think we're up to 55 in what we call it just our active area. I guess that's the main floor. So we've got 55 in there. We actually have some in an escape room as well because we ran out of space inside the main area. But we have 55 machines and we rotate them out every now and again. Machines that aren't doing so hot in terms of average plays and stuff, we'll shift those out a little bit sooner, get something else in. We also have some games that are a little bit off the wall and unique. That doesn't necessarily make them good, so they typically tend to not stick around super long. But we just have a ton of fun with it. We got 4 pinball machines about 3 or 4 months ago.
Nice.
Broke 2 of them immediately and got the other 2 fixed up. No, 2 of them are sitting in my garage at home right now. I hope I can get to them eventually, but we got a couple pinball machines, and I think that's really important. People love pins, and it was definitely an investment, kind of in nostalgia, I guess, on that. And we don't make any money off them, so it's just kind of a labor of love.
Right. And that's kind of the bonus to somebody going and doing an escape room, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. We got a lot of, when we first opened up, is, hey, we did the hour-long escape room. We got a picture, now what?
Right.
Well, you could go bowling, but then you have to leave us, and that could be expensive and blah, blah, blah. Why don't we just throw on an hour in our free-to-play arcade? Like, nobody's going to say no to that. I think we've had one person not do the arcade. Wow. And I think it was because they were sick. That's what I'm telling myself, at least.
There you go.
But we just we decided that in 2018 that we're here to stay. We want to continue to grow along with the community, and our community is growing by leaps and bounds. Our community supported us enough. Let's give this to them.
Nice.
It's an arcade. We have money in the machines. We charge, if you don't do one of our activities, we charge $5 an hour. We're trying to literally be
such a great price.
Yeah, the cheapest entertainment option in the tri-state. Like that was what the goal was, setting.
Now, I would assume that with you guys offering beer and stuff now, that, just people that are sitting there playing games, you're going to make money off people buying beer and drinks and mixed drinks. And
so
you have a bar
it's going to kind of even out, right? Maybe
there's some interestingness to that. So there is a pre-built bar inside that building. It's been a bar its entire lifespan. We are not allowed to operate a bar in that building per our planning and zoning.
Oh, man.
No.
Yes, we have a liquor license. We've had a liquor license for about 2.5 years, but we are not allowed to sell alcohol inside of that building.
That is...
Yeah, the rules and regulations.
I would just say that's Owensboro.
Yeah, the rules and regulations literally changed the month we moved in, which seems quite coincidental. But it has been very frustrating. We moved in with the intention to actually make money from the arcade and give people a little bit more entertainment. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. We were pretty down about that for about 3 months. But the brewery has always been kind of the prize down there, and we're in the entertainment district. So Friday after 5, you can drink. I don't know how they classify this the right way, but out in the parking lot is what we say.
Right.
And apparently, the city does have some kind of legislation on the docket to where that will be extended to every night soon. So they're working with us a little bit. They did hear us out. It's unfortunate we can't do it, but actually was just able to advise someone today against moving their business down there because they were going to try a very similar thing. And
I see.
So I got to save somebody else a lot of money and heartache.
So I'm guessing in like your tap room, you're going to be able to serve people from your brewery, right?
Yes.
But
so
they can't have beer and then go into the arcade or the bar area that has been there forever.
Right. It's interesting. The answer to that is we don't know. They can go right outside the doors and stare in. So we're thinking about throwing arcade machines outside in the summer.
Oh, and axe throwing. Oh,
yep. We can do axe throwing in our parking lot as well. So we're literally, that's our way around this. And so far, nobody said don't do that.
So you got your axe.
Strange.
You got your axe room built up now, right? Though.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and then you made a portable unit. Was that what I understood at some point?
We had a portable unit, and then the coronavirus hit. And believe it or not, nobody was renting the portable unit anymore.
Right.
We still have that. We are just not actively marketing it anymore. It's actually pretty expensive for us to operate. But it was going to be more of a draw-in factor. We're going to park it out in the parking lot during Friday after 5 and, kind of get some people to walk over.
Smart. Yeah.
So can I bring next year's stars and throwing knives and stuff to the...
Not yet. We're working on that. The ninja stars have a habit of slipping out the back of the hand. So yeah, we're cautiously looking forward to that.
Way to go, Tony. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a secret ninja, so I gotta practice my.
Is it a secret if you talk about it?
Yeah, your secret something. That's what I'm talking about. Oh,
so
goodness.
Back to totally when you were talking about all the arcade games you have.
Yeah.
Are you guys fixing those yourselves?
We are. So there's a couple different schools of thought in arcade. You've got your old classic CRT monitors. We call them the bubble monitors.
Yep.
They are, believe it or not, extremely hard to find these days.
Yep.
We have driven to, I think the furthest I went was Tucson, Arizona. Literally drove pack truck there and got about 15 of them. And I've driven to Georgia for one. And I mean, they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So we've decided that we are switching to kind of flat screen on some of our models that can take it. Of course, a lot of games have to have it. You have to have it on a Pac-Man. Well, you don't have to, but for the nostalgia factor, you have to have it on your shooters, that sort of thing. But some of the more modern games, we're having to flat screen. So we actually will use the original board, which is, massive, depending on the game. And we are converting it over to a flat screen. A lot of people actually really enjoy that. They're like, gosh, as a kid, I couldn't play Donkey Kong for more than 15 minutes without feeling like, my eyes were going to explode. So it's kind of an interesting. And then we have our purists come in and they're like, why would you ruin a Donkey Kong like that? And we're just like, I tell you what, if we went and bought that screen, we would have lost another 2 machines in here. That's our kind of take on it, is 3 machines flat screened is better than 1, old style CRT.
Yeah. And if you're playing for free, what do you have to complain about?
Yeah. But we do try and keep it as pure as we possibly can.
Sure.
It's just very tough in 2020.
Is there anything else besides, hold on, Tony. Oh, sorry. Is there anything else besides like the arcade machines and the pinball? Is there, I see that I'm number one. Thanks, Tony. Is there, I know you talked about it one time, you had asked on your Facebook feed about people, what else would you like pool tables and air hockey and foosball, or is any of those kind of things in the works? Or
yeah, so we do have a foosball table, and that is inside of the building, and it's active. We got a couple other party games like Giant Jenga and stuff like that. Cool. We have a pool table. Our only problem is we can't figure out how to fit it into the arcade area right now. So we are working on some space saving techniques. We're actually, kind of thinking about getting rid of one of our escape rooms and going down to 2 just to add more to the arcade, which is a really stupid thing fiscally. But, we're really pushing for the brewery. We want the brewery to do really well. And we think 2 escape rooms, 3 escape rooms is a lot to manage. 2 would be a lot easier. So we're just dipping our toes into that. We tried the air hockey table, and they are so loud. It will make you want to shoot somebody.
They're fun, but they are.
It's funny when you play, you don't realize how loud they are. But when you sit there all day and listen to people play, yeah.
David has one that we've played outside, and even outside, it is super loud.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's where I have mine, is out in the back patio.
Did you guys just watch a shit ton of YouTube videos to learn how to fix all your arcade games?
So yes, and I still do to this day. Pretty much every major fix I go online and I'll watch probably a couple hours of videos just to make sure, because I mean, these things you can mess them up just by looking at them wrong. But we actually had a lot of experience with small electronics. We use a lot of Arduino and Raspberry Pi in our escape room props. So simple electronics and wiring is really not that big of a deal. The other really cool thing about arcade stuff too is a lot of the motherboards can be found online. A lot of people have broken their cabinets and they simply have no use for these. So they're kind of gathering dust on mantles, and they're fairly reasonable on a lot of games. So when we're having issues with the board, we can usually go online and find spare parts pretty quickly. And it's kind of just drag and drop. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And we're not nearly as good as the guys in Evansville. High Score Saloon up there, they do some amazing work that we are not to their level.
Well, that's all right. I mean,
You'll get there though, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because plus, I mean, who the hell wants to drive all the way to Evansville? Really? I mean, and then drink beers,
Yeah, well, our arcade's a lot bigger than theirs.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. And then pay for an Uber all the way home or whatever, or risk the chance of, taking that fucking arrest.
And on that count, we actually are going to have like a little, I can't remember exactly what it's called, and I'm going to get shot by my co-owners for not remembering this, but Lyft is going to, we've heard Lyft is going to put some sort of like kiosk downtown, which would be really cool because I think the premises, there's always going to be like somebody there to like, there's always going to be a car available. So
nice.
It seems pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Quick question for you. So what escape rooms are going to be available as you open up? What's there now?
It's kind of interesting. We usually cycle them out on about a 9-month basis. So every 3 months we have a new room. The unfortunate part is we didn't get all of our rooms going until late December. So we really only got, January and February out of our rooms. So it's kind of like they're old, but they're really new too. So
of course,
yeah. So it's a really interesting problem. We have our Stranger Things room that we did just kicked butt. And we really we're going to keep that one because I don't think everybody got to go through it that wanted to. Our Kidnapped room, we actually just redesigned it and redeveloped it. We have a, I don't want to spoil too much, but we have we have an old, I guess we call it, it's a liquor lockup, but it's a cold room. And it's it's a 10 by 10 cold room. And it's got the old hatch style door on it. And the premise is going to be that you start the game inside of that tiny little room. Yeah. So that's pretty sweet. We just added that on. We were trying to find the good way to do it.
Right.
And then our Harry Potter room, which is what we have currently, we're kind of having an internal debate whether we keep that or we go ahead and change it. I think I'm winning, and I think we're going to change that.
I failed that room.
Tony?
That's why I'm flipping it off. I didn't make it out.
Well, this is the Harry Potter part 2. This one's even harder.
Oh, even harder? Jesus Christ. Well, I guess it's all because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I've never watched the movies.
That definitely hurts, yeah.
So, I was just lost. And, the people I was with, they're like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Just
get me out of here.
Point me in the right direction, and I'll do it.
Hey, David. Tony, slithering. Just saying. What? Nothing. Sorry. Just kidding. So but I did see online where one of your other concepts that you're thinking about doing, I guess, is like Game of Thrones.
Yes, so that is going to be what we switched the Harry Potter room to. We actually had everything ordered right before this all happened. We usually try and get our stuff about 2 to 3 months before we're going to actually switch up the room just in case things don't work. Blah blah blah. And that's sitting in storage right now. We're really kind of considering if we go ahead and do that or not. Unfortunately, arcade machines, if you don't play them for a while, they get really angry at you and they tend to not work. So we have a lot of arcade repairs that we need to make before we get to open. We still have, 60 machines running, but man, when I walk in there and one of those machines isn't going, it drives me crazy.
Well,
that happens pretty much every day.
If you need somebody to come down and play them every day, I know a guy.
Yeah. We'll just set a key out for you. How about that?
Yeah. He'll test your games. He'll test your beer, whatever. See, anything. That's the kind of pal Tony is.
But no, we are looking to do that Game of Thrones room. I think we'll probably try and release that sometime in July. It's something that people have wanted for a long time. It'd be really cool.
It would be really awesome. I guess there's all right, so what's do you have a timetable as of like right now, or is it still up in the air, and how are things going to work, and are you going to decide the groups are you going to be able to have, or do you know yet?
So it's very interesting. we've gotten guidance from the state every bit of the way on this. We got a call on the 9th of March, and they told us shut it down. Like, you're the first place that needs to shut her down. You don't want any liability on your hands, that sort of thing. We've been calling. I'm lucky to know somebody who works in the state emergency preparedness. The timetable moves, it seems like, every week. But we are going to have these. So I believe we're legally allowed to reopen on the 28th of June. And that's both businesses. We will probably, because I believe that is a Monday, we will probably wait until the 3rd of July, because that's a Friday. There's nothing like opening on a Monday and an entertainment option and nobody showing up. So, yeah, we
4th
think
of July weekend would be big.
Yeah, that would be huge. So that's the goal. We see no reason why we couldn't do that. Honestly, the escape room is ready. I need about 20 hours with the machines, and I'll have them all going. Of course, we will have to relearn everything. But that's no big deal. Brewery side, this has somewhat been a blessing, other than, not making any money for 6 months. But it's somewhat been a blessing, because a lot of the projects we were kind of kicking down the road, we've been able to go for now. Like, we got our full roof replaced, so we're not going to have to worry about that a year down the line. We redid all of the walls instead of doing 2 of them. And that's just going to make the experience a whole lot better for everyone.
Nice.
So we've kind of been ready to open since, I think March 20th was our initial opening date, and we've pretty much been ready since then.
So, and you're going to have the escape rooms, the arcade, the brewery, and the axe throwing?
Yes, and the rage room, I can't remember.
The rage room, okay. Yeah. And that's separate from the escape rooms, because it's, you said, it's just a type thing, right?
Well, so the brewery is a separate building in itself, and then all the entertainment is under one roof.
Nice.
The brewery has a beautiful patio. We're going to have a very, very family-friendly atmosphere. We're also going to serve food, which was really important to us. We got a lot of, not complaints, but a lot of people like, where the heck do we go for food? We walked here, and there's nothing around. And so we're going to do some small entrees. We really want to make a day of it. Like, we want people to come down there with making a day of it in mind. And we're also just trying to keep it affordable. Like, we're still the cheapest escape rooms I've ever seen. And we've thrown in the component of the arcade. So we've doubled our value for no extra cost. And it's really, when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about my family growing up, and I'm like, you know what? If we lived in Nashville and we had to pay $50 for an escape room and then $20 a person to eat, we wouldn't have done it. We would have never had that opportunity. So we're really trying to keep that in mind, keep the cost per person down.
That's great. That's
always been the philosophy.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. I tell you, David, from my son, my daughter, some other family members have all been to your escape rooms, and they love them.
Well, that is great to hear. That's the only thing that really matters.
And numerous times they like getting their picture taken. They like the accomplishment of completing the task and beating the time. So that's
don't rub it in just because I failed.
And then there's Tony. He really had a great time, but
he tried his hardest, right?
He's kind of handicapped. I mean, he what? Sorry.
So, speaking of your brewery, who is your actual brewmaster at your brewery?
So it's not me, thank God. I have brewed before, but I'll tell you one thing: it's gone belly up about 50% of the time when I've done it. But we have a experienced brewmaster. His name is William Johnson. Most common name, I think, on the face of the earth. So don't even try and look for him online. But his name is William Johnson. He's brewed a lot in Lexington and Louisville. He has about, I think, something like 80 big batches under his belt. A big batch is like a barrel or above. So that's the stuff where, like, if you mess up, it's bad news. Luckily for me, I've only messed up about 5 gallons at a time. So no, but he's very meticulous. We actually have like a lab set up, which is kind of neat to me. I never would have thought that was going to be an integral part of it. We have to keep our pH levels to the right area. We have to monitor everything, because if you're off by a couple degrees, it's over. It's ruined. So he's the guy that's going to deal with that stuff. I'm more front of house and I guess kind of big picture and, just trying to bring more and more things to Owensboro.
That's fantastic.
So do you guys have an idea of what you're going to be offering?
Yeah.
Styles of beers now?
So this is going to be a very big workup because Western Kentucky is not known for its rich beer history. So we are going to have 8 of our own on tap at all time. So 8 in-house brews. We're going to do a good mix of everything. What we're really, our philosophy is like when somebody comes in and they ask for a Bud Light, we're not going to say no. We're going to give them their Bud Light. We think that's where a lot of breweries make some issues for themselves. But we're also going to let them try our in-house comparison to Bud Light because there's a lot of good beer out there. And I'm sorry to say Bud Light's not one of them. So we're going to try and get people exposed to some new things.
Sure. You want to show them the equivalent of it and be like, hey, you're drinking this, but taste this. It's so similar, but yet it's so much better.
Right. And we're very fortunate. We have a great ownership group. It's myself, Max Garvin, which you all have met. He's the other half of the Escape Rooms, and Will Johnson. We don't have anybody in our group that's like way older than us or, a different economic level than us or anything like that. So we're really coming at this from a completely community-based perspective. Nice. We kind of go in and we have our meetings and we're kind of like, you know what, guys, we did pretty well. We're really happy with where we're at. Let's plan the next thing we're going to do for the community. We have no interest in becoming wealthy, affluent millionaires or anything like that. We just really enjoy beer and having fun.
Right. That's so great,
you wouldn't
man,
mind it.
I think that's a lot of problem with craft beer. Like people see it as it's above their price level.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean,
honestly,
I was like one of those Sam Adams. Sam Adams is a great. I mean, even though it's so big, it's still a great craft beer.
Right.
Like Sam Adams Rebel and even Rebel Rouser. I mean, that's fantastic.
And they still try new things too that they don't know that will absolutely work, which is really cool. So I think that's kind of what separates craft from the big dogs now is will you try things that aren't super mainstream?
Right.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to run through 160 different beers a year. We don't know anybody else that's putting themselves through that turmoil and headache, but we're the idiots for the job.
Well, I'm going to be the one that's signing up for all 160 beers.
All right. So. We're also going to have this is really exciting to me too because I've not been in the bourbon world ever. We're actually going to have quite a few bourbons on as well. We're not going to be the Miller House, that's for sure. If anybody wants to stop into Owensboro for a bourbon, we're still going to tell them to go to the Miller House, but we will have a good selection. We don't want to be that brewery that's like, nope, we've got 10 of our beers on tap, and if you don't like it, that's it. We think that's what really turned people off from past attempts at breweries in town. And we just really want every single person in Owensboro to be able to find a drink they can drink at our place.
Yeah, Owensboro is not the place to do the whole elitism thing. Like we're better than you, so don't come in here and try to drink our uppity beers when you're a Bud Light or a Busch Light fan.
Yeah,
come in, we'll give you one of those, but hey, try this at the same time.
And don't get me wrong,
there's cool too.
There's a time and place for a Bud Light. Like, don't get me wrong.
I mean, I still do. I still drink. I love craft beer. Like I do. It's like it's the greatest thing ever. But I will still drink an Ice House Edge.
Yeah.
Just when I want to, slam down a 24-ounce beer that really doesn't taste that great, but I'm busy.
If it's cold, you can't taste it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to enjoy it, but I want to slam it down because I've been mowing the grass all day or whatever. Yep. I want to throw this down my throat, get a little, fuzzy head on. And then after I go inside and eat dinner, then I'm going to, pull something out of the fridge that's from Three Floyds or something.
There you go.
That's what I want people to understand about beer. I mean, you don't have to constantly drink only high-end beers. I mean, still to this day, above everything else, Miller High Life is my favorite beer in the whole world. Everybody talks shit about it. I mean, it's got a lot of memories for me when I was younger. It's just got that sweet, good taste to it, and you can drink 46 of them during a day.
Did it have your virginity too? I was just curious.
And it's kind of funny you mentioned that too. It's a lot about the nostalgia factor because we'll experiment with stuff like apricots were a big part of my childhood. We had like a tree or a bush. It's a tree, I guess, in a neighboring yard, and we ate a ton of them. And I just had an apricot beer a few weeks ago, and I was like, my God, like I feel like I've had this before, but I definitely haven't. And it's just something about those new flavor combinations that you've had, but you haven't had in 20 years. Like it's just really cool to experiment.
Right. Yeah. And it's because, craft beers are a little on the high end, money wise.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Yeah.
So, people, blue collar workers don't always have, $18 to spend on a six-pack.
Sure.
They're like,
Tony,
I'm going to buy a case of fucking Bud Light for $18.
Right.
But, when it's time to like sit back and enjoy, like, hey, I got my friends over, I got my family over, I'm going to buy a nice 6-pack of beer. I'm going to share it with everybody. And I'm going to explain to them why this is so much better. But at the same time, when it's time to throw out the grill and hop in the pool, I'm not going to spend $150 on beer.
Sure.
I'm going to buy something cheap.
It's a treat. It really, that's what craft beer is. It's a treat. And that's why flights are so cool. You get to go in and sample like 4 small containers. So you don't get too upset if you don't like one of them, which is really cool. But one of the other premises we really wanted to pull off was a brewery for Western Kentucky. So we want to bring in beer from Bowling Green, from Hopkinsville, from Henderson, from I don't think there's one in I don't know. There might not be one in Murray anymore. I can't remember. But we want to bring in those beers, but we have a little bit of an issue in Western Kentucky with supply right now. Everybody's brand new. Just for reference, we're going to be the largest brewery in Western Kentucky by square footage when we open. So
that's
awesome.
Yeah. So we are just getting started in the scene, and there's some great stuff coming out. We really want to get people in front of it. And fresh beer kicks butt, and nobody has had fresh beer unless they've been to a brewery before.
I gotta ask a question. I gotta raise my hand. I gotta ask.
All right.
So I'm, obviously Tony's the beer guy.
Sure.
Way more than I am. But so excuse my ignorance.
No,
I don't know this, but if say, are you able to, I guess, package it, buy it, take it home? What's the rules, the law? How's it work? What are you all gonna offer?
So what we are going to do initially, because we have a smaller production than we would have cared to have started with, but we're really trying to work with planning and zoning and RWRA to stay in line. We're essentially the first brewery in Owensboro, Kentucky, and no one knows what the heck to do with us. So they kind of told us how big we were allowed to be initially. Otherwise, I think we'd have to put like a manhole monitoring system, and we have to have some dude from the city come out and stand in our manhole like once a week and like watch what comes out. And we were like, I think we'll just start with the smaller system first. You guys can trust us. But what was the question?
So like take out packaged, like able to buy something to take home for consume for the weekend, that kind of thing.
So there's 3 I guess ways to really package liquor if you're a brewery. The first one is the one we've all seen before. It's canning and bottling. Those are mostly for very, very large scale breweries. Also, that product can sit on the shelf for an eternity before being sold, so that's not something we're interested in doing right now. The other way you can get it is a growler. That's a large, I believe, 64-ounce glass container. It kind of looks like a, the old jug with the XX or whatever on it.
Yeah.
Your grandmother lugged around. Yeah. One of those types of deals. And basically, you can bring that home. It's about 5-6 beers. You can split it up with your friends. Blah blah blah.
Sure.
Those can be anywhere from like. I just bought a ton of these from my cousin owns a brewery in Evansville, which is really nice.
Cool.
So those can be anywhere from about like $10 to $20 on average. So that's a good amount of beer right there, and it's in a nice container you get to keep with the logo on it. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And the third way is what we call a crowler. It's not a growler. It's like a little baby growler. It's a larger can. So what you do with the crowlers is basically, David, you come in and you'd be like, I would like a crowler of your maple bacon beer, and we would actually can that right in front of you.
Sweet.
Which is
like
really, really cool. Just watching someone can that beer is really, really neat, because it's like, man, that guy just made that beer right for me. Like,
that's awesome. It's cool watching them seal the top of the can.
Yeah.
Man, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of neat experiences that people aren't going to get or haven't gotten around here. So this is amazing.
Right. And we're also hoping to be able to distribute kegs to local bars. Like, we'd love, and you don't make a ton of money off kegs, but it's one of those things that's just really cool. Like, if we were to go out to like Colby's one night and like, oh my God, that's my beer. Like, they have a tap handle that's got my brewery's name on it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So we really want to get in everywhere locally before we even begin to think about regional. Right. It's all about Owensboro.
All right, so sign me up for 2 arcade games and a keg for my anniversary on Halloween.
You want us to roll it to you?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh goodness. All right, so let's do a quick rundown of everything that you offer as of, or going to be offering as of June 29th, roughly. No, we talked about July
3rd.
So July 3rd, roughly. Probably the holiday weekend will be big.
Whichever day I can get a good night's sleep before. That's
there you go. There you go. We'll try not to bother you for a podcast until after you open. But so you've got the brewery, you've got the arcade, you got the escape rooms, you've got the Damon's room. What's it called?
Rage Room.
Rage Room.
Was there a mini golf thing?
What's that?
Yeah. Okay. So that's something I've been kicking down the road for a few years now. I've never been able to find the space. We tried to purchase Golfland, I don't know what happened exactly. It was interesting. We'll just say that.
That is between mine and David's house. That would be perfect.
Oh man, yeah, we could have opened the brewery out there too.
Oh my God, you'll kill me.
But we've wanted to do a mini golf place for a while now. It's just space is always an issue. You need like 20,000 square feet outside space, and it can't be where Golfland is. We're really lucky that fell through, because why would you start a business where the identical one failed right before?
Right.
Exactly.
So that was kind of a blessing, I think. But anyways, we've been trying to work on that for quite some time. It's just we haven't found the area to do it. You don't make a ton of money off mini golf either, so you have to be really careful. But we got really lucky when we got these 2 buildings, which were perfect already. It came with a back lot as well. And that back lot is 18,000 square feet. So we did not even consider what we were going to do. We were like, we're going to park our trailers and build a little pole barn out there to store our stuff. But we went out there 2 days after we signed the lease, we were like, oh my God, we are absolute morons. Like, this was the place for mini golf all along. So we've got that coming. We want it to be a really local based mini golf too. Like, we want OZ Tyler to sponsor a hole and do their kind of design. My idea was like an arcade, an homage to arcade with a local business attached too. So I had pictures of Donkey Kong with a barrel over his head that had OZ Tyler on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I believe Escape Pod might need to sponsor a hole.
There you go.
We'll talk about that for sure.
Depending on what kind of, when you hit the ball in the hole, maybe it says a different catchphrase from you guys. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah, it was Tony Brown. Was it?
I am Dracula.
There you go. And of course, and when you hit it in my hole, it goes like this.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
All right then. Sorry.
Dude, mini golf is so awesome, man.
And the best part is you'll be able to walk right out of the brewery, and it's outside, so there are no laws against not bringing a beer onto the course.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Now I've seen a few pictures on your Facebook page. Are those like concept ideas, or are those actually
a lot
back
of concept
there now?
ideas? I have about 18 different courses planned. Believe it or not, it's a tremendous amount of work.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be, really experimenting with the best ways to do it. Drainage is something I've never really dealt with before. And I'm learning that is the doom of a mini golf course. Oh, so I'm kind of studying up on that and a little bit of plumbing stuff too right now, but we have these courses designed, and it's just like, how do we best, stack some holes on top of each other and make, use of our space. And also it's really hard to build a mini golf course during quarantine.
Yeah.
Not a lot of felt out there. They kind of shifted gears towards plastic making. So
yeah.
Right.
But we are really looking forward to doing that because after that, I think we're actually going to get a week vacation, and that'll be the first time in 4 years.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
I heard a child.
Not here, but that's okay. This is what we call us live. But it happens. David, thank you so much for being on the show today. Is there anything else that we've missed, or anything else that you want to mention or talk about?
Man, I think you guys pretty much hit on everything. We've got a couple other things I can't reveal too much just yet, but it's going to be good for Owensboro, and we're going to stress ourselves out trying to bring it. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
So
go ahead.
What's all your social medias, website, all that good stuff? Let everybody know.
Cool. So Facebook, just Escape Owensboro. Our website is escapeowensboro.com. We're on Twitter. I don't think we have 4 followers, but you're welcome to check us out on Twitter.
We follow you.
Oh, thank you. You're you're 25%. We've got a Instagram. It's escape.today. We're on Google Plus. No, Google Plus is gone, isn't it? Man, my younger employees have been really yelling at me to get on Snapchat, but I'm sorry. I don't know how to do it. So maybe that's 2021.
Yeah, there you go.
Or have them do it. Yeah.
You need to do TikTok, man. TikTok is the shit now, I guess.
Ooh, oh man,
you have to do some escape room dances.
I think that's beyond me. I'm just too old.
Well, Tony's the king of TikTok, so
is he?
He can probably he can help you out.
I was going to say you could be our media advisor.
Tony. Oh, that would be not advised.
No,
that would be ill-advised. That's it. Oh goodness. Well, Dave, thanks again for being on. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the luck in the world. And like we talked about before we went live, maybe in a couple of months, once you're up and running, we'd like to come down with me and Tony's video crew and shoot some video
tomorrow. Okay.
That sounds good, man. We can do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much, David and Tony. Really appreciate it. Anything I can do for you, you guys just let me know. We'll hook you up.
Thanks, man.
That's how we are with you, man. We want to support you because you're bringing so much good.
You guys were the first people that wanted to talk to me, Yeah.
Well, and we did the podcast. Gosh, over 2 years ago now with you, and then you've grown so much. And we're like, we got to have you back. And this would just seem like the perfect opportunity.
It's grown even more than the business.
Not as big as mine, David. Not as big as mine. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks, David. Tony.
Thanks, man.
Good seeing you again, man. And we'll be back probably next week with some more interviews, some more fun, and getting through the pandemic one day at a time. Thanks,
guys. Out Escape today.
That's right. That's right. Don't forget to visit us at outbreakpodcast.com. I got it in there.